Good afternoon. Live from the Circus Sports at the Main Kentucky Downs studio, I'm Ross Johnston. There has been a lot of NFL news as the Ravens and Raiders trade with Max Crosby was denied by Baltimore after Crosby failed to pass his physical yesterday. The Raiders now get Crosby back on the roster, and the Ravens hold on to their 2026 and 2027 first-round picks. Then this morning, the Ravens made a move by signing free agent edge rusher Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year, $112 million deal, as Hendrickson will stay in the AFC North coming from Cincinnati. Also, a couple of former Titans got signed. Former safety Kevin Byard signed with the Patriots, reuniting him with Mike Vrabel, and Chig Okonkwo signed with the Washington Commanders. The SEC tournament is underway, and we have had a game already as Kentucky defeated LSU 87-82. Right now, Mississippi State is taking on Auburn and is leading by 5 late in the first half. Up next, Ole Miss will take on Texas, and to cap it off tonight, South Carolina will take on Oklahoma. Tennessee will face the winner of Mississippi State and Auburn tomorrow at 2 p.m. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans of Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. It is Wednesday on the big show, which usually means and always means on Wednesday. Slay's not here to do it, so Zeph, you want
I
it?
gotta do it? I can't do it. That was bad.
Wow.
That was bad.
That was incredible.
I've never actually tried to do that before.
Pop says he can do it. Give Pop a microphone. Kirby Allen Kirby is here. Give Pop a microphone. He says he can do it.
I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I think I should put the headset down. I'm
Slay is
very
working
disappointed in myself.
with the SEC Network. He looks super fly down there. We saw him. Zeph took a picture of him and sent it to him like a stalker.
He found us. He waved right back at us.
All right, it is Wednesday on 3HL, which always means nope, you're not on. You're not on.
It was pretty good, though.
His mic wasn't on.
It was pretty good, though.
Do it again. Okay.
The first one was better.
Hey, Bert, you want to do the hump day thing? He did it. Well, it took him a minute to get Kirby to get his mic on.
I messed up.
Bert, you do it.
Yeah, I think
We're taking this is like American Idol, 3HL style. Also,
all right, what's your name and where are you from?
My name is Robert Walsh. I'm 18, and I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I'm here to audition for a Hump Day Idol.
Okay. All right, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Hump Day! Please save that, Ross.
Do we have a golden buzzer anywhere?
Please save that, Ross. Winner, chicken dinner. Also, your Ravens. Why are you going to do Max Crosby like that?
Hey, dude, I like all the Crosbys and the Cosbys.
And the Hendricksons.
Ross had the Hendricksons too. Also, Maddie in promotions is trying to make a baby picture of me out of AI, which is amazing. I just moved, so I don't have any picture. Like I can't find it.
You said it kind of looked like you. It was just a little chubbier than what you.
Well, people assume that I've always been chubby. It took. It happened about the 7th grade.
That's when the
chub started.
Hit in.
Yeah. By the way, Slay is working with the SEC Network. As I said, you can see him all over the place there. And Babs is on assignment. So I think her assignment would cause her to rather be here than where she is.
Well,
but
when you texted her this morning and said, have a nice vacation, and she goes, I wouldn't call it that. I kind of set the scene on that one.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So Zeph gets the co-host role. Zeph's not even producing. Kirby Allen Kirby is here, taking care of all of that. Ross is back at the studio in the world-famous Music Row. And Zeph and I are here until 6 o'clock. And if you're coming to the SEC basketball tournament, you probably would already be here unless you're coming to the night sessions. But we are in the Barrel House all week. Buck Rising, Cover 2, 3HL all week, unless Tennessee's playing, which they actually do tomorrow. So probably a 5 to 6-ish kind of show tomorrow. But we have tons going on. We've got basketball. Obviously, the SEC tournament is going on. Josh Hubbard is playing right now, so that's always fun.
Not Auburn and Mississippi State, just Josh Hubbard.
He's on the floor.
If that tells you how that game's going.
Last time he played Auburn, he led Auburn at halftime 35-33. He is not on one of those kind of benders, Shout out Jonathan Bender, who would have gone to Mississippi State had he not gone pro out of high school. But anyway, he just hit a three. He's got 11 points.
Mississippi State
where are
is
we with
up.
this?
It's 33-27, a little over 47 seconds left. Foul on Auburn just now.
First half.
In the first half.
Yeah.
What did I say?
47 seconds left. I was just clarifying.
Okay. Yes, in the first half.
Because that would be a very fast basketball game. Yeah, 33-27. Mississippi State with the lead. Auburn in desperate need of a win. They probably need to win 2 games. If they lose this, they're not going to the tournament.
Yeah, they're not even going to be discussed. Are right now in Joe Lunardi, are they in the bubble? Or are they
the last time I looked, they were the last team in the field.
Oh.
Which means you cannot lose today.
Well, right now they're not looking too hot.
And there goes Hubbard. He's doing his thing. Well, they shut him down. Josh Hubbard is 5 of 13. He now has 13 points. And watching him in the first half, it's one thing to watch him on television because he's not a big guy, man. And you really see it when you come into the building, shout out Slay, and watch him live because he's not big. And this dude scores all these points, and it's not like he's getting open looks. He has to work so hard for every shot. And the degree of difficulty on most of his shots it's just incredible. Did you get a note about something?
Yeah, shout out Ross. Joe Lunardi currently has Auburn as the first team out today, so they definitely need a win.
Yeah, and with everything that's going to happen in the conference tournaments, that's why I think they need to win too. So Auburn needs to beat Mississippi State today, and if they do, they get Tennessee tomorrow.
It's 2 tough matches for Auburn there. So.
And quick side note, the Tennessee game is scheduled for 2 o'clock tomorrow, but that's a guesstimation because it's 30 minutes after the first game ends. So Missouri will play Kentucky. We'll talk about Kentucky and LSU in just a minute, but Missouri will play Kentucky, and then Tennessee will play the winner of Auburn, Mississippi State after that happens. So 30 minutes after that happens. And then the winner of that game plays Vanderbilt on Friday. You can see another Tennessee-Vanderbilt game. One quick note, Ament practiced today for Tennessee. So he is in line to return. LSU and Kentucky, the 9th seed Kentucky Wildcats, 87-82. Big shout-out to the Kentucky fans. Dawn asked yesterday, because I mentioned Kentucky is the 8th most likely team to win the SEC tournament, and I can't remember the last time they were like that. And then Lucas said on the Buck Rising show today that it has been since 1979 that Kentucky played on Wednesday in the SEC tournament.
That's really insane to think about.
Yeah. But her question was, do you think the Big Blue Nation will show up? And I was like, is that a question? Really?
They were there.
They were there and loud and proud.
LSU was in it late in that game. I think they were kind of going back and forth there with 12 or so minutes left to go in the second half. And then that's when you heard the Kentucky fans. Anytime Kentucky started to get some separation, I think he got up to 5, and then that's when you first really heard them. Really, the entire building stood up cheering for every single play. Like every single play, both offense and defense, they were on their feet making as much noise as possible. And honestly, I think it helped because Kentucky went on a run there, got a 10-point separation, and really never got closer than – I think LSU got it down to 5. At that point, they were out of timeouts. They weren't making shots like they needed to. You and I watched LSU, 3 straight threes in the corner that they bricked?
Wide open
Threes in the corner that they bricked.
Yeah, and that was the difference. Props to LSU for fighting, 87-82. The point I was going to make about Kentucky, I celebrate the passion of the Kentucky basketball fan base. Their football fans are great too, but when you go into the building and you see it and you feel it and you experience it, they literally cheer every possession like it's the last possession. Standing up, loud. It felt like watching the fan base that they treated it like they were in a Final Four game. And I kept thinking, man, they do know they're playing the 16 seed, right? Like, this is the worst team in the SEC. And anyway, but salute to them. And they're still here for this game.
I honestly do think that they made a difference in that game because it was
for sure.
You could tell when Kentucky started to go on the run, they started to feed off the energy. Got a couple key turnovers there late. Got a couple key really tough buckets, some and ones there down by the basket that I really think they fed off the crowd. Now, Is that going to help them throughout the entire tournament? No, because they're going to run into a better team than LSU eventually.
Yeah, well, Missouri is much better than
Much
LSU.
better than
Kentucky
LSU.
advances to play the 8 seed Missouri tomorrow at 11:30. Cats lost to Missouri at home in early January. Oweh had 23 points and 8 boards, I think, for them. Football notes, there are tons of them. Max Crosby deal did not go through. He failed the physical. Baltimore said, no bueno, we're not doing it. There are lots of rumors and stories about what actually went down there. They end up with Hendrickson from Cincinnati. Baltimore does.
Not even 12 hours later after the Crosby news came down, Trey Hendrickson's deal was reported. I don't remember who had it first. I think it might have been Rap Sheet that had it first. But either way, 4 years, up to $120 million for Hendrickson.
Yeah, he got 121. He got $28 million per.
The thing that
he played 7 games last year
and is coming off a hip surgery in December.
Yep.
And listen, you can say what you want about the Ravens. It was their prerogative to fail Max Crosby on the physical if they wanted to.
All right, Bobby Brown.
It's not they're not slick. It's very clear you can put the pieces together on what they did. They saw what the market for Hendrickson was, realized that not a lot of teams were going to go fight for that price range. They probably decided that they wanted their two first-round picks back. Regardless, they could still get a really high-level edge rusher in Trey Hendrickson without giving up. Did you know that the Ravens have never traded away a first-round pick?
That's amazing.
This would have been the year, but they get him back because they rescind the offer.
That's right.
And GM Eric DeCosta for the Ravens holding a press conference today at 4 o'clock.
One GM told Tom Pelissero this is very much bullshiano on the Ravens' part. Everyone knew he's out till June or July. The Ravens got cold feet. Or they figured out they could get Hendrickson and went that direction.
The other side of that story is, did you see where Trey Hendrickson was going to land if the Ravens did not pull out of the Crosby deal and go after him?
He was going to the Colts, right?
He was going to the Indianapolis Colts. I think Ian Rappaport had that this morning, that the Colts were all in on Hendrickson, which is interesting. I wonder what that contract that they were offering him would have looked like, because they just signed Daniel Jones to a 2-year deal worth $88 million up to $100 million.
How about that?
They signed Alec Pierce to the 4-year $116 million deal earlier this week, and they were already a little bit in cap trouble. I know trading away Michael Pittman kind of helped some of that, but giving away 3 big contracts like that would have been really interesting. So I'm curious to see where the Colts pivot to now that the Hendrickson thing fell through for them.
Defensive end Caleb Vaughn, Chase On, signed with Washington, 1 year deal, $12 million. Former Titan safety Kevin Byard to the Patriots, no surprise there, 1 year, $9 million. I bet if he plays one more year, he'll be with the Titans in 2027.
I would hope so. He's a guy that definitely deserves to retire a Titan.
That's where the out is on Amani Hooker's contract. He'll still be under contract, but they could get out of it there. Former Titans tight end Chiga Okonkwo, 3-year deal with the Washington Commanders.
Up to $30 million is what the reporting was. We didn't see the specific per year number, but I would believe it's probably somewhere around 8 or 9, and then some incentives to get it up there to that 10 per.
Big Savagery Ramon Foster will join us at 5:20. At 4:45, we've got May or May Not Be Funny. We have a 100% success rate with that, so odds are you're going to laugh at that point. 4:20, Todd Furman. We'll talk about the SEC tournament. Also had a conversation with him last night about the Titans free agency. You guys know he doesn't sugarcoat anything, and he says everything without emotion. What does he think about what the Titans have done in free agency? Are they going to be better? We'll talk with Todd Furman about that. Also, coming up, we'll play a few cuts from our conversation with Greg Cosell for you, where he broke down Alontae Taylor and Cordell Flott's film. He likes both of those players. I'll go ahead and tell you that, and their fit within Robert Saleh's system. But we'll hear from him more specifically about that, how they fit into the zone-based solid defense. And coming up next, Rhett Bryan, executive producer, Titans Radio, at Rhett B Tennessee on X. There are videos of Cam Ward throwing. We'll talk with Rhett. They also signed 3 more players last night. 2 last night, 1
Locked
today.
up the special teams.
Yeah, and we'll talk with Rhett about all of those things and more. Stay tuned. 3HL broadcasting live from the Barrel House at Bridgestone Arena in the concourse outside section 112. Brent Doherty, Zeph Dog. We'll be right back on 104.5 The Zone. 3HL 104.5, The Zone, broadcasting live from Bridgestone Arena. We are outside of section 112 in the Barrel House. Brent Doherty and Zephyr doing the show today until 6 o'clock, and we have so much to get into today with all of the basketball that's happening, all the NFL moves that are happening. Free agency officially began at 3 o'clock. Is that mine?
That's yours, I think.
Yeah. There we go. We also have an incredible giveaway. Another chance for you to win tickets from Babs' Prize Closet, although Zeph is taking control, he says. Festival producer Danny Wimmer presents the largest lineup in the history of the 8-year Bourbon and Beyond, the world's largest bourbon food and music festival, set for September 24th through 27th at Kentucky Exposition Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Bourbon and Beyond 2026 will feature more than 100 artists on 5 stages, topped by superstars including Foo Fighters, my favorite band, Queens of the Stone Age, Mumford & Sons, Chris Stapleton, Dave Matthews Band, another one of my favorites, Hootie and the Blowfish, and more. All pass types including 4-day, single-day, general admission, Mint VIP, and Angels MV Beyond VIP passes on sale now at bourbonandbeyond.com. And we're going to give away 2 4-day general admission tickets coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. So stay tuned for that. That is an incredible lineup.
Slay would be all on that for just Chris Stapleton.
Yes, he would.
But unfortunately, he's a little busy, so I don't think he's going to be able to call in.
As are we today, as is Rhett Bryan right now. Rhett, thanks for hopping on, man. How are you?
I'm great. How about you fellas?
We are doing well. The Titans have made tons of moves. So let's just dive in. And let's start with what happened last night, Rhett, and get your take. The Titans had another defensive player. Former 49ers defensive tackle Jordan Elliott is signing a 2-year, $8 million deal with the Titans. He's 28 years old, 6'4", 303. Played his college ball at Texas in 2016, then went to Missouri for 3 seasons. Taken in the 3rd round by Cleveland. Played for Robert Saleh last year and looked like he played pretty well. What are the Titans getting with him?
So it's interesting because he lined up as an end a lot in their defensive front last year in San Fran. 31 tackles, 1 pass breakup, 4 run stuffs. This gives him a chance to move back inside to his more natural position. And you named some of the tail of the tape. Like, he's a big dude, arms almost 33 inches, hands 10 1/4. Had a 27.5-inch vertical leap at the combine when he was there. 97 games of experience. So just another big body that can help. And, you know, John Franklin Myers was a really nice signing to go along with that to get Jeff some help. But, yeah, I like what they've been doing. It's a baker's dozen so far, and they keep making moves.
It's a baker's dozen. Yeah, when you look at what they're doing up front on the defensive line, Rhett, dramatically different than what they put out there last year, obviously going to the 4-3, so schematically things are going to be different. But I love what they've done up front, including the rotational players behind the starters.
Oh, absolutely. No, and that's, you know, hearing Robert Saleh speak and the few times we've heard him talk and just seeing what he did in his tenure as head coach of the Jets and certainly in his time in San Fran, he rotates guys in and out a lot in that even front. And so, you know, depth to go with that is certainly a part of this. John Franklin Myers is one of my favorite pickups of this thing so far just because of the production. You're talking about a guy 6'4", 283 at the combine, and ran some good numbers. I mean, at that size, ran a 4.75 40, 1.66 in the first 10, 33-inch vertical leap. So the stat that stands out about him, there were 8 defensive tackles to record a pressure rate of at least 10% and a stop rate of at least 5% with a minimum of 400 snaps among defensive tackles. In 2025, John Franklin Myers was one of those 8 defensive tackles. The other one was Jeffrey Simmons.
Yep,
he had the 4th highest pressure rate among defensive tackles in the last couple of years, hovering right around 12%, and 7.5 sacks at that position. And, of course, we know what Jeff had at that. They were both in the top 5 in sacks at that position up front.
To add to that, A to Z put the cumulative stats, Jeffrey Simmons and John Franklin Myers, Totaled last year 18.5 sacks, 23 tackles for a loss, 103 pressures, 37 quarterback hits, 12.9% pressure rate on average for those guys. They will have to be dealt with. And what's interesting about that is those two are so good and will be so much better, I think, together. That offensive line coaches, offensive coordinators will have to scheme those two guys and not just play straight up. You can't do it.
No, and that's the whole thing with this, as I've mentioned with you guys in the last couple of weeks on 3HL, is this is the key ingredients to the formula of trying to win in what is the arms race of the AFC with all of them, Mahomes and Jacksons and Herberts and Allens and Burrows, is mash the middle of that pocket, bring four, and if you can successfully bring four and make that guy uncomfortable or make him get in trouble unless your other guys do their work, that's the key. That's how you beat these guys. I mean, it's evidenced by those last two Super Bowls and how they played out.
Rhett Bryan with us on 3HL. Your mic is working even if you can't hear.
Okay, I can't hear. Okay, Rhett, one thing that the Titans needed to do this offseason, I know they had a ton of holes on both sides of the ball, but their special teams, they were losing all three of the major positions on special teams. They signed Morgan Cox on Monday. Reported last night, Tommy Townsend, former Texans punter, bringing him in, and then obviously the report today of them re-signing Joey Sly. What are they getting in their new special teams or old special teams unit coming up this year?
Well, I mean, Joey makes perfect sense just because he seemed to flourish under Bones Fossil after he'd bounced around some places in previous years. I mean, he was money from big-time distance several times last season. I'm encouraged by the Tommy Townsend move. I really like Johnny Hecker, and I thought he did a nice job, but I can understand why they moved in this direction, because Tommy Townsend for Houston last year, top 5 in total punts, recorded the longest punt in the league at 73 yards. And then here's the big one. His production of putting balls inside the 20, which was a place where Johnny had some issues, 30 punts inside the 20 last year. So better net punting average, better touchback average, better inside the 20 percentage. And so I understand why they made that move.
Yeah, and, I mean, 30 inside the 20 is remarkable, but only 5 touchbacks. So think about that. And the thing with him, talking with Brett Kern earlier, is he's excellent in terms of hang time. Not the best directional punter, but in terms of hang time, he's really
Gives
good.
time for the special teams guys to get down there.
Rhett, what stuck out to you yesterday? A lot of activity yesterday with regard to the Titans. Where would you like to start with what they did yesterday?
So let's see.
We went John Franklin Myers already.
Yeah, we went John Franklin Myers. Let's start with the hometown man in Alante Taylor.
Okay.
I mean, every Vols fan is happy about this, and Titans fans equally, as well as the pride of Coffee County comes back home. I went back and looked at his stuff from the NFL Combine. I mean, he ran a 4.36 at the Combine, 1.5, 1.5 seconds in his first 10, 34.5-inch vert. Broad 10.8, arm 32 1/4, hands 9 1/8, at 6 foot, 199 pounds. And got 64 games of experience. The stat that stood out to me after it was announced that he was going to be signed league wide is that he is the only player since the year 2000 to have 50+ pass breakups and 20+ tackles for loss in his first 4 career seasons in the league. He's one of 3 players with 10+ pass breakups in each of his first 4 seasons.
Rhett, what about the other corner that they brought in, Cordale Flott from the Giants? The reporting yesterday, I believe, is Connor Hughes out of New York saying that the Giants pushed really hard to get him, but Robert Saleh is the one who closed the deal, explaining exactly how they're planning to use Flott in the new Titans defense under Saleh.
Yeah, so 6'1.5", 180 pounds or so. Not the longest guy, but brings 53 games of experience, 146 tackles, 25 pass breakups, 3 career interceptions. The thing that stands out about him, in 2025, as the field side, not the boundary side, but the field side cornerback. He allowed 42.9% completion percentage. That's the fourth lowest among players with 20 or more targets in the same alignment. And to give you an idea about what that company is, just ahead of him at number 3 and number 2 of efficiency with that is Houston's Derek Stingley and Kamari Lassiter. I think they definitely have a plan for him. And I'll just stay in the secondary with this because the other interesting thing to me is the Joshua Williams signing, the other corner, who has a great story. You know, he played at a HBCU in Division II at Fayetteville State in Fayetteville, North Carolina. He's only 26 years old, 75 games of experience, 10 of those being in the playoffs with the Kansas City Chiefs. And a big dude, 6'3", 195, almost 33-inch arms, hands 9.5, 4.53 in the 40, 1.54 in the first 10, 36-inch vertical leap. Now, here's the thing. I'm interested to see what was the difference with him in 2025 because he was mostly a special teamer. And he only has one career interception, but he was never like a full-time starter. Now, if you're going to have one pick, he had the best timing in the world to do it because he picked off Joe Burrow in the AFC Championship game his rookie year. And then that helped seal the deal. And, you know, Harrison Butker went down and kicked a field goal. 23-20 was the final. It was still like 7 minutes in the game. I went back and looked at that yesterday. But, yeah, I like what they've done in this because there's a lot of blue-collar effort here. There's some flashy pieces in Wan'Dale Robinson, but there's some blue-collar pieces here, some fundamental type things, and it kind of helps set up some stuff so the draft can kind of come to Mike Borgonzi when this thing goes. Offensive lineman in this, the Schlotman young fella from that's a frog that came from New York. Austin Schlotman, 6'6", 300, 85 games in his career, 17 appearances in the Giants for the Giants, and then 4 career starts. 363 snaps, 69 of those on special teams. Also, 0 sacks, 3 quarterback pressures, 3 penalties, good PFF grades. Got a 77 pass block grade, and took over for John Michael Schmitz in a couple of occasions last season. And apparently did well in some New York pieces that I went through yesterday, kind of researching these guys. And clearly, you know, this is a thing where Brian Daboll says, let's bring him in. I mean, with that kind of a resume, I'm thinking that's who they believe that the starting center is, or at least he'll compete with.
I think that's true, too. And Volson, the other guy, more of a rotational guy and brought in for competition.
Yes.
I think
yes, and here's the thing about Cordell Volson. People forget he got hurt in training camp August 15th last year, had shoulder surgery on his right shoulder as a result, missed the entire year, but he played a bunch before that. Now, his sacks allowed number wasn't super in 2024. I think he allowed 6. But the cleanest part of his game, he had over 3,100 snaps in his time there in Cincinnati in the last 3-4 years, and only 9 accepted penalties in that time. So a little cleaner in that department. But I think you're right. I think that's a depth/rotational percent player type of deal there.
Rhett Bryan, executive producer of Titans Radio, with us on 3HL. Rhett, looking at just the defensive side of the ball and the moves that they made there, and I know this is just a snapshot because we still have a month and a half before the draft. We still have plenty of free agency left. I mean, this is only day 3. Start of the new league year happened just 36 minutes ago. But have you started to kind of see the identity that they're putting together on the defensive side of the ball with the addition of these pieces?
Well, they're big. They're mostly big and long players. It fits that mantra that Robert Saleh told us that first day when he was introduced of fast and violent. There's speed there. I mean, I've rattled off some of these 40 numbers they ran at the combine their rookie years. I think the physical makeup and identity of these guys is matching what the slogans are, what the verbiage is. And the other part of this, without knowing what they do in the next coming days and what they might do in a second and third wave of free agency. But, again, I think it's helped set up a scenario where the draft kind of can come to them. Even at number 4, like I would like to see them do something else with another pass rusher. But if you don't, You get a pass rusher at 4, go offense at number 4. You're going to get a good player at number 4, and you can kind of let the draft come to you in that, and then figure out what you want to do at pick 35 in round 2, and 66 and 3, and 101 to start the 4th.
You know what's interesting, too, with all this activity for the Titans early in free agency is that with all of these moves, nothing's really changed in terms of what we've been talking about in terms of the draft with those 3 edge rushers, Arvell Reese, Bailey Bain Jr. with Sonny Styles in the middle, and with Jeremiah Love at running back. Nothing's really changed there. So from a discussion standpoint, I like that.
I do too. I would not be disappointed with any of the gentlemen you mentioned at 4.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with Sonny Styles. I'd be happy with any of those pass rushers. I'd be happy with Jeremiah Love, just knowing what kind of potential that could be as a 3-down back and something to help out Cam with, all the weaponry you can. Again, you're going to get a good player at 4, and if you decide that Jeremiah Love is it at 4 and he's there for you, you can get some good pass rush talent at 35. You absolutely again that fits the bill of some of these guys that they have signed in free agency. I mean, Zion Young, at Missouri is a guy that fits that bill with a big, long pass rusher like he is at 6'6". Keldrick Falk from Auburn fits that body frame and size. There are options there.
Right. Is there any other of the free agents? I know linebacker was something that a lot of the national media said to keep an eye on for the Titans. Are there any free agents in that position or at the edge position that you're kind of keeping your eye on as a potential fit here in Tennessee?
Let's start with edge pass rusher. Arnold Ebiketie, who's a free agent from Atlanta, is something that I've kind of got my eye on. A lot of the good guys in that first couple of tiers have been snapped up, even today as we speak. But that is one. Arnold Ebiketie is one for sure. Kingsley Enagbare from Green Bay may be something else to look at. And then in the linebacker spots, a lot of those good guys are already gone to other places. But there are some very serviceable names down through there as you start to look. I'm looking at the remaining free agents now, and nothing immediately jumps out at me because even like Channing Tindall got signed by the Falcons today, the former Arizona Cardinal. But, I mean, there are options there. And, listen, here's the other part of it, Zeph. It's a decent draft for all fall linebackers. Not even just at the top with, the Sonny Styles of the world. But, I mean, there's some good – there's probably 10 players in the top 60 to 80 picks that would make you a nice ball player at off-ball linebacker.
Yeah, and it's interesting because inside linebacker, middle linebacker becomes that much more important in this system. I get that you're going to have sub packages and high percentage of that, but it's different than in the system that they have run for the last 10 years. So that's why I'm intrigued by Sonny Styles. But it's interesting. We mentioned 5 players that are still on the board theoretically with. Even after all of these moves, and they pick 4th. So theoretically, they could have the draft come to them, sort of. Zeph just saw,
and that's right. And knowing that Fernando Mendoza is going to be 1, so really,
yeah, there you go.
You're basically moved up a spot there with that thought.
Yeah, Rhett, while you were talking about the linebackers there, news from Tom Pelissero, former Titans cornerback Darrell Baker Jr., who was not tendered by the Titans, signing a 1-year deal to go to Miami, and he's going to go down there with the Dolphins.
No surprise there, and I'm glad you brought that up because, after talking with Cosell yesterday, Flott and Alontae Taylor are going to start on the outside. That's where they're going to – I know Alontae Taylor played inside last year, but – he envisions them in Salah's system as the outside corners, and he likes a guy that I know you like that will definitely be in the mix, and it'll be fun to watch in training camp is Marcus Harris, who might slide inside for the Titans there at nickel.
Absolutely, and you're talking about, again, that's the silver lining in this is how many rookies played extensively in 2025.
Yeah.
And so much to the point that a lot of them weren't even, you really didn't couldn't say they were rookies. Only by definition that it's their first year. They played so much. Some of them by the middle of the year, they played veteran snaps. But yeah, Marcus Harris is a bright young man, very level-headed, and I think somebody that can help them wherever they move him around. But yeah, there's some big, long corners in this thing. And then think about this. You know, you get Kevin Winston Jr. back to line up back there with Amani Hooker. You've got some length in that secondary to move some things around, which is exactly what you need. That guys with big radiuses, arm-wise, that can disrupt and get after things. If you're crashing the middle and the front of that pocket up front with who you've got up there.
Let's go ahead and make that note too. In Salah's system, the safeties are interchangeable. It's not free safety, strong safety. They're both doing the same things, and they want safeties back there that can be interchangeable where you don't know what they're doing. So that'll be another element to watch in training camp. Rhett, thanks for hopping on, man. Great job. Always love to hear your perspective on things Titans, man. Yeah, and so now it's the big reveal tomorrow night, and yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
Whole lot of things going on. I'll tell you something else too. If you hadn't gone to, I think Jim Wyatt's got part of this, but I saw where Nissan had put out like an update on new Nissan Stadium. It is amazing how far along they are with what they're doing inside that building and just kind of where things are. And something changes every time I drive by it. It's amazing.
Yep, the event at the Pinnacle tomorrow, which is over in National Yards. And that's going to be interesting. It'll be all over social media as well, so we'll have a lot to talk about tomorrow as well. Thank you, Rhett. Good stuff, and thanks for bringing up that reveal. I completely forgot. We get trapped in this SEC tournament, man, and you forget about everything.
Right, and free agency and all that stuff. Yeah, listen, it's a reminder we got to get new gear. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was going through my stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Rhett. Great stuff, man.
All right, boys.
All right, Rhett Bryan, executive producer, Titans Radio, at Rhett B, Tennessee. Auburn has come out in a hurricane into the beginning of the second half. They now lead 51-40 after trailing 33-30 at halftime.
21-2 run over the last 6 minutes.
Kevin Overton with 19 points for Auburn. We'll keep you updated there. The winner gets Tennessee. More 3HL coming up. I talked with, I asked former Titan punter Brett Kern about Tommy Townsend. He answered and offered more about all of the Titans' moves. I'll share with you next on 104.5 The Zone.
Truck Month, it's here at Two Rivers Ford. So what does Truck Month mean for you? It means 0 money down, 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days. And only at Two Rivers Ford do you get 0 surprises and 0 pressure. That's because Two Rivers Ford, they do things a little differently than most dealerships. You've heard me talk about it a million times. Non-commissioned sales team. So their salespeople are just there to help you. They get their salary regardless of whether you buy a truck or not. Ask all the questions, take all the test drives. Check out the F-150, best truck ever, by the way. I'm in love with mine. The Super Duty, the Maverick, the Ranger, Truck Month, all about you, especially with 0 money down, 0% financing, 0 payments for 90 days. Two Rivers Ford prides themselves on honesty and transparency like they have for over 4 decades. And on top of it, they've got one of the best inventories of Ford trucks in the Southeast. There's Ford Truck Month, and then there is Two Rivers Ford Truck Month. That's when I got my F-150 2 years ago during Truck Month, and I love it. Get to the South's most trusted Ford dealer, local, honest, real. That's Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
3HL 104.5 The Zone, Brent Doherty and Zephyr. I don't even know how to bring you in.
Joseph Bonanno?
Nah,
You don't want to say my full name?
That doesn't work. Zeph. Mayor and Zeph, how about that?
Mayor and Zeph.
At the Barrel House in the concourse just outside Section 112 in Bridgestone Arena, the SEC tournament going on. Kentucky an 87-82 winner today. Kentucky won the previous matchup 75-74 in Baton Rouge on January 14th. Remember, Malachi Moreno hit the game winner for the Cats at the buzzer to win. Full court pass with 1.6 seconds left by Owe, and they got the win. Had they not gotten that length of the floor buzzer beater, Kentucky would be 18-13 coming into today and 9-9. They still would be the number 9 seed, but they would have been playing Ole Miss had they not pulled off that miracle. Ross Dog. Ross,
Sorry,
what you got?
gentlemen. Jordan Schultz reporting that the Titans are signing former Chiefs defensive end Malik Herring to a 1-year deal. No money yet, but a 1-year deal.
Malik Herring.
Former Chiefs defensive end. Boy, they're just adding defensive linemen. Thank you, Ross.
I still don't think this throws. 28 years old, out of Georgia. Let's see what he did for the Kansas City Chiefs in his career. Drafted in 2022 last year.
He's going into year 5.
Last year only played in 2 games for the Chiefs.
Borgonzi connection, though.
Yeah, he's only started 1 game in his career, so probably a competition piece.
Yeah, only has 1.5 sacks in his career.
See, Ross, you just got everybody all excited. You pulled his F there.
Yeah.
Breaking Titans news.
Yeah.
They did sign somebody. I did.
It wasn't just a red herring.
Wow. That's not that. Wow. I did ask Zach today from Cover 2. I was like, are the Titans going to make another move outside of a kicker today? And he's like, I don't know. I hope so. Well, here we go, Zach.
That was almost a line from the movie Clue, which if you listen to 3HL, you know that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And even though it's a very old movie, the younger people in our listening family would think it was hysterical. So watch Clue at some point.
I have seen it.
Moving on. You have seen it.
I have seen it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Yeah.
I've also read the book, Agatha Christie's, and then there were none.
Yeah.
I've played the board game.
Look at you. Zephyr. The Nash Severe WX on Twitter put out the severe thunderstorm watch originally set to expire at 8 p.m. has been canceled early for both Davidson and Williamson counties. Enjoy your afternoon and evening. Next severe weather threat is Sunday, which will be just in time for the SEC Tournament Championship game where Florida will take on someone.
That's a pretty safe bet if
Did you think
on
at any point during that Kentucky LSU game when we were sitting there, did you think, like, why are we even doing all these other games, like, on this side of the bracket? Just put Florida in. Take some time off.
Yeah. I mean,
enjoy your afternoon.
The way they're playing right now, they've got every single position on their roster, like, in flux, and not just the starters. They're rotational guys too. The guys that come in off the bench in their first subs. Like, everybody is firing on all cylinders down there.
Yep, including the Titans punter next year, I guess. The Titans are going to sign, or maybe they have. Who knows? They can at 3 o'clock. Signing former Chiefs and Texans punter Tommy Townsend to a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. He's 29 years old. He played at Florida, Zeph. He's entering year 7. Last year, he averaged 47.6 yards per punt. He only had 5 touchbacks in 72 punts. He had 30 punts end up inside the 20. That's pretty amazing. 30 inside the 20, only 5 touchbacks. His net average was 41.6. So if you take a look and compare with the punter for the Titans last year, Johnny Hecker averaged 46.8, which is less than Townsend. He had 7 touchbacks, which is more than Townsend, 22 of which ended up inside the 20, considerably less than Townsend. His net average was 40.3, less than Townsend. And Hecker he's 36 going into year 15, so you get younger there too. I asked Brett Kern about it. He's a solid punter who can hang it up there, exclamation point. He said that he was surprised that Houston let him go, which I thought was interesting. He said it's a good signing. He said, I like how they're filling holes in free agency so they can then go get the best player when they draft and not fill a hole drafting a player. I feel like anytime you have a top 5 pick, you take the best player regardless of position. And now that they've filled holes, they can do that. He did mention the Love, like the potential Jeremiah Love pick. He said, if you think he can be like Gibbs in Detroit, do it. Or go get your best defender regardless of position.
I feel like the one position they haven't necessarily quote-unquote filled out of free agency is that edge position, because this Malik Herring signing 6 snaps last year is what. So it's
a competition.
You traded for Jermaine Johnson, getting rid of Tavondre Sweat. So I mean that takes care of maybe one side of the edge position, but you still got another side. I don't know if Femi Oladejo is ready to take that step as a starter.
Be interesting to see with his hand in the ground, too.
Yeah.
Or on the ground. Not in the ground. That would be tough.
So I still don't think that they have – it's day 3 of free agency. I still don't think they've tipped their hand on what they are potentially doing at number 4, but we'll know closer to the date, I feel like.
Auburn leads Mississippi State 59-53, 7:51 to go. Josh Hubbard hit a couple of shots. He's up to 18 points. Auburn came out in a fury to start the second half, but Mississippi State has battled back and kept it close. They just got a rebound. We'll keep you updated. 615-737-1045 if you want in. That's 615-737-1045. 4 o'clock hour coming up at 4:20. Todd Furman will join us. We'll talk about the SEC tournament from a sports betting perspective, also get his take on Titans free agency. Are they better? You know Furman doesn't hold back. When we come back, however, Greg Cosell joined us yesterday. A lot of talk about these cornerbacks and how they're going to be used in Robert Saleh's system with the Titans. We'll play you what Greg Cosell said about Alontae Taylor. We'll play you what he said about Cordell Flatt. And we'll play you what he said about how they fit into a zone-based system. We'll do that next. Stay tuned. 3HL broadcasting live from Bridgestone Arena at the SEC Tournament in the Barrel House outside Section 112. We'll be here all week on 104.5 The Zone. Want to tell you about my friends at Buddy Allen, and I went to see those guys not too long ago, a couple of different times, and always enjoy going to see Zach Allen. You can check out my Facebook page where I put a video up that exemplifies how silly me and him are, and you might enjoy that. But you'll kind of get a better feel for what they have going on at Buddy Allen Floor and Home. BuddyAllenFloorandHome.com is the website. You can see what they're doing there. BuddyAllenFloorandHome.com. Built on tradition, designed for the way you live today. Buddy Allen Floor and Home, now through April 20th, with approved credit. Get 0 interest for 18 months and up to $1,000 off. With approved credit, get 0 interest for 18 months and up to $1,000 off now through April 20th. Buddy Allen doesn't just sell carpet. They make floor covering, kitchen, and bath projects simple from imagination to installation. From hardwood, carpet, tile, and more to stunning kitchen and bathroom remodels that fit your style and budget. Pick your cabinetry, countertops, plumbing fixtures, shower doors, bathtubs, hardware, lighting, and flooring all in one spot. Plus, their design experts can walk you through every step. Buddy Allen will help you create spaces that you will be proud to call home. Built on tradition, designed for the way you live today. Buddy Allen Floor and Home. BuddyAllenFloorandHome.com.
Get on your health right now, guys and ladies. This is opportunities you've been waiting on. You need to head over to Synergix and Low T Center. Find out exactly what your levels are, your T levels, fellas and women. Hormone tests normally it's $2.99, but you can get on there right now for $99. Since it's the beginning of the year, you can jump on it. And the weight loss consultation, that right there, that's free. You can walk in or book an appointment at getmyhealthfix.com. And understand, just like you guys out there, fellas, T levels, once you hit the age about 40, things start to kind of taper off a little bit. You need to be able to stay on top of those. You're feeling tired at times. You're feeling like your energy not where it's supposed to be. You can't get up and go. Can't last as long, in whatever way you may be thinking. Well, they got an opportunity for you to get back and get right. Testosterone replacement therapy at Synergix and Low T Center. Get in there, and I promise you, you will satisfy yourself. You walk past that mirror, you're like, yes, that's me. You're feeling better. Feet hit the ground, you're ready to roll. All you got to do is go to Synergix and Low T Center.
Good afternoon, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. We've had some Titans-related signings in the NFL today as the Titans just signed former Chiefs defensive end Malik Herring. Yep, that's his name, Malik Herring. Also, former Titans safety Kevin Byard signed a 1-year deal with the New England Patriots. Former Titans tight end Chig Okonkwo signed a 3-year deal with the Washington Commanders. And former Titans center Corey Levin just signed a deal with the Atlanta Falcons. The SEC tournament is underway. Kentucky defeated LSU 87-82 in Game 1. Right now, Auburn leading Mississippi State 65-57 with a few minutes remaining. Ole Miss and Texas are next. And lastly tonight, South Carolina will take on Oklahoma. The Vols will face the winner of Mississippi State and Auburn tomorrow at 2 p.m. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news and once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. And if you're new to the show and you're wondering why I say that when it's raining outside, if your feet hit the ground this morning, it's a beautiful day. God has blessed us, and let's make the most of it. And it looks like the severe weather is gone. So that's good. The severe
news.
thunderstorm watch is done for Davidson and Williamson, I know. So hopefully you guys are staying safe out there. It is a busy, busy time in downtown Nashville. The SEC tournament is going on. All of the fan bases are here, especially Big Blue Nation. Walking outside of Bridgestone Arena, and we have to come in. The media entrance was on the backside, kind of across the street from the convention center. And so I spent a lot of time walking around the building, watching the Kentucky fans, man. They have a ball down here, and they had a good time in the first game today, 87-82 winner. They will get Missouri tomorrow at 11:30. Don Davenport on assignment. Slay Dog will probably pop up here. He's got a lot of SEC network responsibilities this week, but he's going to try to pop up here. Chris Lowe is going to come by at some point when he gets here as well. He was driving in this afternoon. So we'll talk with those guys. Todd Furman will join us at 4:20, and at 5:20, Ramon Foster. I think we're off at 5:45 today, 5:40.
Yes, that is correct.
Somewhere in there. Hard out, Kirby says.
For SEC tournament programming.
You just notified me that you have something to say. Zeph Dog, by the way, is co-hosting the show today.
What's up?
So Mayor and Zeph.
Yeah, a little Titans adjacent news. Former Titan center Corey Levin, who a lot of people wanted to bring back. I thought would have been a good depth piece here. He's not coming back. He's going to the Falcons following Bill Callahan, former offensive line coach here, and going on a 1-year deal to Atlanta.
It's funny how relationships matter, huh?
Well, I mean, look at every Titan or every signing the Titans have made. They've had some kind of relationship with one of the coaches on the staff.
Not every, but yes.
Just about.
Just about, yep. 615-737-1045 if you want in. Auburn leading Mississippi State 65-57, 4:19 to go. Josh Hubbard with 20. Kevin Overton for Auburn, 5 of 9 from 3. He has 19. The winner gets Tennessee tomorrow, right around 2 o'clock, somewhere in there. Today's second game started at 2:20 if you're wanting to kind of plan things in your head. Nashville SC hosts Messi in Miami tonight at 6:30 at Geodis Park. It is the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions round of 16. Don't ask me to explain it. That is not my lane.
Ask Lucas.
Best start ever for the boys in gold, I read today. 4 wins, 1 draw.
Good for them.
So there you go. Did you all see what happened in the NBA last night?
Oh, my goodness.
Miami beat Washington 150-129. That's not the story, y'all. Bam Adebayo, who played at Kentucky, was 20 of 43 from the floor, 7 of 22 from 3. He had 83 points. 83, second most ever in an NBA game.
Do you know how many of those came from the free throw line?
Please tell me.
He had 43 free throw attempts. He made 36 of them. I mean, he was so unstoppable that all they could do was foul him. He just went to the line and made shots.
He's in his 9th year out of Kentucky. He's never averaged more than 20.4 points per game. He went for 83.
Broke the Kobe Bryant 81-point game, and he is now second all-time in most points in a single game in NBA history, behind the one and only Wilt Chamberlain.
100 points. Another cool element to this story, some of y'all may disagree. I get it why, but Spo left him out there to go chase it. So
Yeah.
it was a blowout situation.
They were up by 30, and he was still out there like getting tough buckets and getting fouled. And
let's do this. Let's
I'm going to listen to some audio.
Yeah, let's hear from Greg Cosell. Ross, you and your something hearing.
Come on, man.
Maybe something hearing can help you out here.
Sorry, Malik.
A lot of people questioning what about the corners? Who's going to play where? Greg Cosell had what he wrote me yesterday before he came on the show. He said, I have a lot of things to say. And I said, okay, good. Let's start with cut one. Ross, Greg Cosell talking about former Giants cornerback Cordell Flott, who some things should be inside. He played outside last year. The reason why people think he should be inside is because he's 175 pounds, but very athletic and held up well. Let's hear what Greg Cosell had to say about him.
You know, I hate to say things like if he was this, then he'd be that, because that's, ultimately irrelevant. But he has the traits to play outside corner. It's just that he's 175.
Right.
I think he'll get a shot outside. I think my sense is, and I certainly don't know what Borgonzi and Sala envision right now as we speak. I don't have a hotline right to them. I don't know. But I would think that Taylor and Flott would line up when they start as the outside corners. And then they go from there and see how everything else plays out. Don't forget, we still have a draft. So, my guess is they're not through adding corners to their roster. But I would bet if on March 11th tomorrow they had a line up that Taylor and Flott would be the outside corners.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you about Flott because I talked with Mike to tell you about him, and at LSU he was an inside guy. But then I know that he played outside last year for the Giants, so another guy that can kind of do multiple things. But, yeah, the 175.
Yeah, and is a good player. That's the thing. It's just the question is, how do you feel about him at his weight playing on the outside? That's going to be the main question. And they'll figure that out as they go, obviously. And like I said, there's still an NFL draft coming up, so, we don't know what's going to happen there.
Having said that about Flott, what about Alontae Taylor? Because he played primarily inside last year. Very physical player, very athletic, very fast, takes chances in some cases. Let's get Cosell's take on Alontae Taylor coming in from the Saints.
I think he'll be an outside corner. He was one of my favorite signings. I've loved Alontae Taylor since he came out of college. He's physical. He's competitive. He plays with a swagger. I love this signing. I think he'll play on the outside. He's probably, of everybody they signed, along with Franklin Myers, it's those two guys to me are my favorite signings that they made. Taylor, I've always liked Alontae Taylor. He had played predominantly in the slot, but he played meaningful snaps on the outside for the Saints, and he is big enough and fast enough to play on the outside. I mean, you guys probably remember him from college, but he was a really good player, and he was one of my favorite corners when he came out in the draft. So I really like his signing.
He's an interesting story. He played at quarterback at Coffee County High School, which is about 60 miles from Nashville. He had, Cosell, 8,225 total yards in high school, 75 touchdowns. He then went to Tennessee as a wide receiver, quickly moved to corner, and quickly got on the field. Very athletic guy.
Yes. And like I said, he's got a little edge to him, which, you always like to have on your defense somewhere along the line. So I really like that signing a lot.
We'll hear more from Greg Cosell in just a little bit. When we come back, Todd Furman will join us. We'll talk about the SEC tournament. Todd loves to give kind of go into the next NASCAR race also, get you a winner there, potentially. They're in Vegas, his hometown, as a matter of fact, this weekend. Also, World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, the United States did some dumb Shiano this past week. And,
and I didn't know about this. We need to spend some time on this. This is ridiculous. But Todd Furman next. Stay tuned, 3HL 104.5 The Zone. United Structural Systems, USSTN.com. United Structural Systems, not just another repair company. They are your local foundation and waterproofing experts. They live here, they work here, and they understand exactly how Tennessee's soil, weather, and homes behave. Serving homeowners across Tennessee for more than 30 years, more than 30,000 local homeowners have trusted USS. That experience means they've seen every type of problem our homes face. Every crack or leak tells a story, and USS knows what those signs mean. They pinpoint problems at the source: foundation settlement, basement water intrusion, crawl space, moisture issues, and more. No guesswork, just the expert diagnosis from people who know Tennessee homes. Their repair solutions are engineered to stand up to our local conditions. A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Transferable lifetime warranties, local service, long-term protection. You're not just getting repairs, you're getting peace of mind. Book your free home inspection at USSTN.com. United Structural Systems, we are problem solvers. We are experienced. We are local. We are USS. USSTN.com. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Zeph.
What up?
Broadcasting live from the Barrel House in Bridgestone Arena outside Section 112 at the SEC Tournament. Kentucky an 87-82 winner today. They advance to play 8-seed Missouri tomorrow at 11:30. Auburn has just defeated Mississippi State 77-61. They will play Tennessee tomorrow in the second game. Interesting note about that LSU game, LSU-Kentucky game. Number 5, Chandler.
Oh, my God.
Something.
Oh, my
Colin
gosh.
Chandler.
Colin Chandler. Thank you.
At the free throw line, Kentucky up by 6. The line's 7.5. He makes the first, misses the second. Todd Furman joins us here live from Las Vegas. Todd, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing well, and hopefully Stephen Pearl can now go back to politicking, hoping that Auburn's big win over Mississippi State today secures their candidacy for the Field of 68, given how well the Tigers have played over the last 6 weeks or so.
I don't even know where to start with you. Yeah, they need to beat Tennessee tomorrow, I think.
They may need a couple of wins. They may need to do the Tennessee double, and beat the Vols and then beat Vandy if Auburn's going to find themselves in off the bubble. But we'll see exactly how the game looks. This is a time of year teams can put together some improbable runs. You win 3 games in 3 days. If you're even close to being included, then it goes a long way to try and bolster that candidacy and get you into March Madness.
How much attention do you pay to the NCAA tournament and all these conference tournaments?
Conference tournaments are great. In my opinion, it's kind of the hidden gem when it comes to being out in Las Vegas. Now, of course, the finality of conference tournaments is going to be a little bit different than what you'll see on that opening Thursday and Friday of the big dance. But at the same time, you have games that'll tip off as early as 8:30 in the morning local time out here and take you into the wee hours of the morning as well on the tail end. The last scheduled tip-off that I see on the schedule right out here in Las Vegas, San Jose State and Boise State, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific, and there's probably a better than 50-50 shot that game doesn't tip off until closer to 9 o'clock local time. So sunrise to sunset, if you are a hoops head or enthusiast of wagering in any capacity, I would encourage folks to come out to Vegas the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of conference tournaments, more so than coming out here for that opening weekend of March Madness.
See, that's interesting because I've got a lot of friends that say the first weekend of March Madness is the best time to go to Vegas, but you've said that before. The conference tournaments actually give you a little bit more.
Easier to get a reservation, cheaper hotel rates for the most part, and if you're a true college basketball junkie, you're going to get more volume of games. Now, the magnitude of those games doesn't quite get anywhere close to the energy and the level of excitement that you'll see in that Thursday and Friday of the tournament. But I think we've seen Conference Tournament Week really grow in popularity. You have a number of tournaments that are actually hosted out here in the desert as well. Now, we did lose a big one with the dissolution of the Pac-12, which was kind of the crown jewel. When you get the Arizona, the Oregons, the Washingtons in the world all out here playing for a meaningful postseason prize. At the same time, though, I would encourage folks that are looking to try and figure out a sports weekend, this weekend and next, a little bit more exciting, in my opinion, than even coming out here for Super Bowl.
Quick side note, there was a story last week, and it appears that the Sphere people are looking at Nashville.
In terms of building a similar venue? Or
Yes. Yes.
Look, if they can bring the kind of marquee acts to Nashville that we've seen out here, by all means, it's a unique experience. One that, I'll be honest, though, I haven't had a chance to see firsthand, whether it's the Backstreet Boys, Kenny Chesney, Grateful Dead, etc. And if the ticket prices are any indication for what the expectations are when Metallica begins its residency, I can understand why the MSG Group would want one in Nashville if they can build it for a fraction of the cost and drive up the price tag from a revenue standpoint as well.
Would be fun. I noticed that it carried a $2.3 billion price tag.
Oh, it's not cheap.
It's
not cheap by any stretch, and they're figuring out creative ways from an economic standpoint to be able to fill the venue. Where I think it becomes a little bit more of an attractive business proposition is they're doing some remakes and creating unique spins on some of the iconic Disney movies or historic movies like A Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, so they can use those for standing inventory when they're not bringing in live musical entertainment. We're going to see Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather put on a fight here about 15 or whatever. Whoever's fighting, I can't even keep tabs at this point, 15 years past the prime. We saw the NHL draft out here. So it is a unique venue in that regard, and I have to imagine if they're going to build a similar setup in Nashville, that they'll have learned from some of the mistakes and probably tweak and make it that much better. I guess it's always just a question of placement and how they want to try and go about filling it.
So Florida, obviously the prohibitive favorite to win the SEC tournament. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think it was minus 185 when the tournament started, and then I think maybe Arkansas or Alabama was second, but it was like plus 500. I mean, can you explain how big of a gap that is?
I mean, Florida has really created some separation. You look at the way that they have performed down the stretch, and credit Todd Golden, who was doing a little bit of tinkering early on in the season. The Gators didn't look anything close to the group that we saw cut down the nets a season ago. But after starting the year 5-4, losing that game on a neutral court against UConn, they've really been able to figure it out since the middle of December. Now, I think you can look at it one of two ways. The underlying metrics for the Gators are outstanding. We know that the front court is going to be an absolute disaster for teams to try and deal with Alex Condon and Thomas Hall. But you look at the backcourt, Xavier Lee figuring it out, the Arkansas transfer in Boogie Fland as well. But I think at the same time, you always wonder when you go through top to bottom, is this a byproduct of Florida being, that much improved, which I think is a yes. But does it also reflect where the SEC is this year compared to where it was kind of the gold standard a season ago? I'm not going to say it's necessarily that being the case, but it is a little bit of buyer beware if you're looking at Florida big picture, knowing their future odds have kind of cratered from 25, 30 to 1 about a month ago, now into the single digits. And you look at that price to win the SEC tournament, I don't think either of them would be considered a value proposition. And if you were looking to try and back a team that you thought had a little bit of legs, I do think it comes from the quarterfinals on the bottom half of the draw, looking at an Alabama or Arkansas.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you. When you do have a big favorite like that on one side of a 16-team bracket, is that where you go if you're going to go anywhere? Maybe in Arkansas or in Alabama, who at the time when I wrote this down was plus 600 for Arkansas, plus 850 for Alabama.
And those numbers won't really change. When most books repost some of the SEC odds, regardless of who wins between Texas and Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Oklahoma, it's not like one of the prohibitive favorites is going to get knocked off there. So I would expect to see similar pricing, especially given the first round. It'll change a little bit as we get deeper into the field. But typically you're going to find that if you want to bet one of these long shots, that a mechanical parlay pays a little bit more. And what I mean when I say that is to bet a team on the money line and essentially have them win 3 games in 3 days, or in the case of some others, 4 games in 4 days. Now, that math goes out the window if Florida were to get upset by the winner of Missouri, Kentucky, whoever comes out of that second-round matchup, or if Florida didn't get to the conference championship game. So you do always have to kind of caveat it that way.
Right, so if Florida loses, all of the odds change. Right,
oh,
so
everybody else on the board sees their odds completely get cratered, and they shrink substantially.
Yeah, so you would have to check at that point pretty much immediately.
Yep, exactly. And books aren't dumb. I mean, they'll hang the odds going into the day, but they're not typically going to leave them up throughout the course of conference tournaments. They may early on in some of these power leagues, like I said, for the extended footprint, whether it's the Big Ten, the SEC, or even the Big 12 to a lesser extent. There's nothing that typically happens the first or even in some cases the second day that heavily impacts some of the short shots that are being priced.
Todd Furman, our guy in Vegas, at Todd Furman on X. Ryan Blaney with the win in Phoenix. Reddick got 8th, right? First non-win for him. Interesting. They're in Vegas this week. What do you think?
Vegas should be fun. 1.5 mile track. So we did see Phoenix last week at the mile track. Ryan Blaney and Christopher Bell clear-cut the 1-2 cars for me. Ryan Blaney got himself in a little bit of trouble. You would have liked to see if Christopher Bell electing to take 4 tires late. Would have been enough if we saw a longer green flag run. Kyle Larson, the favorite this week, depending on where you shop, although a lot of respect being paid to Christopher Bell as well. Those are 2 guys that have performed extremely favorably at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and at 1.5 mile tracks in general. A lot of other household names kind of mentioned in the same breath. The William Byrons of the world, Alex Bowman going to miss with Vertigo. He was a little bit of a sleeper that I had circled for this week. But I think his prices on some of the long shots continue to drift out. A Ross Chastain or even a Carson Hocevar, mildly attractive. But if you do have access to Christopher Bell at 7, I would be more inclined to look to bet him pre-week than I would be to get involved with Kyle Larson at a price tag right around 5 to 1.
Todd Furman, our guy in Vegas, at Todd Furman on X. Zeph Dog,
Todd, let's talk a little baseball because the United States in the World Baseball Classic had a little bit of a blunder this week. Manager Mark DeRosa going on MLB Network saying that it's weird. We want to win this game even though our tickets punched to the quarterfinals. That was before their game against Italy, in which Italy handed them a pretty large upset.
Their ticket had not been punched.
And their ticket had not been punched. He says after the game, I misspoke, completely misread those calculations. And now there's a tiebreaker situation for this Italy versus Mexico game, and the United States does not control their own destiny. For those keeping track, in order for the United States to advance to the knockout rounds, they need a Mexico win with 5 or more runs or an Italy win.
Yeah, and no truth to the rumor that Mark DeRosa got his math lessons and is behind all the permutations that we'll see at the Slay Casino when it comes to figuring out the numerical combinations there, as he clearly misspoke. And look, the folks on MLB Network that didn't want to correct him in real time, I'm still scratching my head about that. But, you know, that's kind of the world we live in these days, that if people come out and they say things convincingly enough, no one wants to question them. And here we are with Italy and Mexico kind of controlling the destiny for Team USA. Unfortunately, Zeph, when you look at the way this matchup is being priced, odds makers believe Mexico wins a low-scoring game today against Team Italy. Now, we have seen the price shrink. Mexico opened, north of a $3 favorite. That's down in that minus 220, minus 230 range. But the bigger move has come on the total, 9.5 down to 7.5. Suggesting that defense will be the order of the day. If that's the case, it doesn't set up well for the red, white, and blue. But we made this bet for ourselves, spotting the Italians an 8-0 lead and trying to scramble back. So we'll see how all of this unfolds a little bit later today. As a result, Team USA went from being the odds-on favorite to win this tournament to a price tag that's drifted north of 2-1. So if you think they get some help in the group, there may be a little bit of a value proposition there. But, I would hope that somebody inside of Team USA would have explained the rules to Mark DeRosa and placed an increased emphasis on winning what Francisco Cervelli calls the biggest win of his baseball career. Somewhere out there, George Steinbrenner is rolling over in his grave knowing that Cervelli wore Yankee pinstripes for a while and did contribute to some Yankees postseason success.
Hey, former Vol Andrew Fisher playing some big roles there for Italy. He's hit a couple home runs in this World Baseball Classic. Had to give former Vol a shout out.
See, Todd, Zeph always has to give the
got to go the big orange. Got to go the big orange angle whenever I can.
Look, I respect his blind loyalty and optimism as it pertains to the WBC and the ties directly to Knoxville.
So, with the United States, with those odds taking a big hit, as I see one Ronald Sylvester Slay walking up towards the table, Todd.
Look at that.
This should be fun. With U.S. taking a hit, what are some teams to watch in this World Baseball Classic?
I think the Dominican Republic, when you look at the lineup that they can trot out there, is pretty incredible from a hitting standpoint. Now, of course, at the same time, a little bit of a different dynamic for them from a pitching side. Japan was a trendy pick in the past, but this pitching staff nowhere close to what they've been in the past, and those are kind of the short shots there. You've also seen numbers shorten on Venezuela and Puerto Rico. Look, I'm not running to try and bet any of these teams right now. I think you kind of want to see how the quarterfinal bracket lays out and exactly what these teams have their ability to trot out there from a pitching standpoint. And look, single elimination in baseball, as compelling as anything else, given the volatility of the sport. Tough to try and figure out if one arm can get hot and silence bats for that long a session. So it should be interesting to see once we know what the quarterfinals will look like. But no doubt a little bit of a surprise here if Team USA, the favorite in the tournament coming in, gets bumped out and doesn't even have a chance to go back out there and win this thing again.
Well, look who walks up just in time to give some hockey picks. Ronald Sylvester Slay.
First of all, there wasn't no way I was going to miss this segment, Todd Father. You thought for 1 second that I wasn't going to come in here and talk about my picks that I made last night. And, Zephyr, am I rolling right now? On my parlay?
Yeah, there's 3 straight wins.
Okay, well, what was that final score? What was the Mississippi State final score?
77-61.
Dang it.
Okay, well,
I'm down now, Todd Father. So I need your picks instead of getting my picks. I was rolling.
Wait a second? You're in the venue where the games are being played. Can you not look up at the scoreboard that you need to try and defer to somebody else to tell you what the final score of the game was?
We're in the concourse, dog. Hey, man, my mind is everywhere, dog, and I'm just trying to get to you, Todd Father.
Well, look, I mean, eventually, Slay, the first and second rounds of the tournament, you're going to be able to do your full radio slot because you're going to be in the booth calling the championship game. But I understand how they trot the JV out to call the early rounds, and they bring in the heavy hitters from the quarterfinals on in.
Damn. Hey, Todd, what did you think about the Titans free agency moves yesterday?
I actually think they did a good job for what was out there. I think they addressed one of the big concerns, which was in the secondary, bringing in Cordell Flott and Alontae Taylor. I do worry a little bit about where this team is going to go from a playmaker standpoint. Wan'Dale Robinson is a nice piece. Daniel Bellinger, for me, is a guy who really doesn't move the needle. And I think the last thing Titans fans want to see is Brian Daboll recreating a Giants offense that lacked a little bit of pop that was out there. We knew they were going to try and address the defensive line a bit. They did pay a premium for John Franklin Myers, who does have a familiarity with Robert Saleh. But I think they're headed in the right direction. And the biggest question for the Titans and what they can do to exceed odds makers' expectations with a win total sitting at 6.5 is the development of Cam Ward. The one thing, and I know we've addressed it in the past, that Brian Daboll was extremely intrigued by Cam Ward's skill set coming out in the draft and would have loved to have him in New York. Now he'll have a chance to work with him, and if he's able to scratch the surface of what Cam Ward can be, then maybe this is a team that could surprise some people and flirt with the ideas of finishing right around 500 or maybe even a game above.
Todd, do you have an NHL winner for tonight?
I wish I did, but Slay's the one with the hot hands, so with only 2 games on the slate, I mean, You're going to have to defer to Slay, and he's going to have to tell you which Canadian province is his favorite between Montreal and between Quebec and Ontario.
Yeah, well, guess what? The right person is here since you don't have anything. The cat ain't got my tongue. I'm going Montreal plus 1.5, and I'm taking Philly money line plus 108. How about that? Yeah,
hey, look at you, a pair of underdogs over there. I can respect it. You've come a long way in terms of how you're trying to approach these handicaps, Blake.
Thank you. I take that as a pat on the back right there, Top Father.
No problem. I'm always looking out for you, buddy.
Well, I'm glad you guys got to talk.
Yeah, man. I miss my guy. I would have missed him 2 weeks in a row.
The better question I have for you guys, where's Dawn right now? What kind of endeavor is she doing or engaged in at this point?
I'll give you a hint. There's lots of kids screaming where she is.
Oh, okay, so she's the real loser in this equation right now. It might be the first time in her life that she wishes she was there to grace you 3 gentlemen with her presence.
Mm-hmm. More likely.
Thank you, Todd. Good stuff, man.
Always a pleasure, guys. Enjoy the tournament.
There's Todd Furman. Slay Dog.
What up, baby?
Can you hang for a second?
Yeah, just a second. I got to record something on the court at 5 o'clock. I said, I got to go up here.
You got 20 minutes. All right, then we
start at 5 o'clock.
Then we will go 5 minutes long here.
There you go.
Hey,
go to work.
Decision. All right, so what did you see today? Kentucky, it kind of reminded me of the Kentucky-South Carolina game not too long ago where they were in a brawl for 30 minutes, and then they kind of pull away and do what they do. And then Auburn, some kind of halftime speech from Stephen Pearl. Mm-hmm. They were down 3 and ended up winning by 16.
Well, I think this time, to start with the latter, I think Stephen Pearl played my halftime speech to Auburn, telling them, is this the Auburn that we haven't grown accustomed to this? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bruce started something there, and you're not used to seeing Auburn play that way. So I was asking, are they about to quit? Like, straight up, like, where is the sense of urgency? And you didn't see any. So they came back out, answered the bell. They played some defense. That was big. And Keyshawn Murphy helped lead them. But Kevin Overton, they got so many guards.
Kevin Overton was
He played
hot,
some
man.
ball, man. He played some ball in that one. When you look at Kentucky, though, Brandon Garrison coming off the bench with those 17 points was humongous. Because you always need somebody to offset what Colin Chandler, Aberdeen, and Oweh is going to do. You got to have that spark. He was the spark coming into that matchup. So, big time for Brandon Garrison. It's going to be interesting going into Mizzou, what they're going to do, though, because that front line, they got a guy 7'1" in Phillips Jr., then a guy, Trent Burns, 7'5", coming in behind him. Only 7'5" guy we're used to being that athletic is Wemby, and he's in the league right now. So it's going to be interesting. Malachi Moreno had foul trouble, but I think got a little banged up, so they're a little thin in the front line. It's going to be interesting to see who bangs with Mark Mitchell if Diabate can stay out of foul trouble. It's going to be a good game, man.
Will be interesting to see who bangs with Mark Mitchell. 6 o'clock coming up tonight, Ole Miss and Texas. Ole Miss the 15 seed, Texas the 10 seed. Both teams struggling. Texas has lost 4 out of 5 since winning 5 in a row.
Yep.
Ole Miss 1-12 in their last 13. How does this one break down?
Yeah, you look at Texas, Sean Miller, I think coming off the loss that they had, that was an overtime loss against a rival. How do they bounce back? I think they'll have their head on straight because he has some good pieces, some veteran pieces that I think understand the moment. Vocatitis is perfect. Dalen Swain, all-SEC performer. Pope, Tremont Mark, the list goes on and on with those guys. As far as Ole Miss, man, I don't know what Chris Beard does to stir the pot for this group. Like, he's tried everything from taking all the starters out, pushing everybody in, from playing guys once, playing them a couple minutes, snatching them out. Nothing has seemed to work for him. So it might be a lost effort for Ole Miss unless they show something today.
You never know in a tournament, man.
You never know.
You know what I mean?
But leading up to this point, you know how I am, man. I'm an eye test guy. I believe in what you showed me, and all they showed us to this point is we'll go out there and lose.
You know, watching Mark Pope today, going back to Kentucky, the rotation was kind of strange for me.
Yeah, I mean, but I will say,
and who was on the floor at the same time.
I think he's trying to figure out how to work Cam Williams back, who is a big pickup for those guys coming back because they need the depth. Jasper Johnson came in.
Cam Williams.
They do. And when they got to yelling, I was like, was Cam even playing that good when he got
I wouldn't look at his stats.
It was just cool, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
it was like, okay, well, maybe they know something we don't know. So it's you walk into it now, man. Jasper Johnson gave him some good minutes, but Diabate getting in foul trouble, I think it's going to hurt them if that happens again.
Late game tonight, 14 seed South Carolina, 11 seed Oklahoma. Obviously, Oklahoma's playing for something. Does South Carolina have anything left?
Yeah, I do. I think so. Being able to see them in shoot around yesterday, I think Michie Johnson, their leader, is in a good headspace, physically and mentally. And then hitting that walk-off against Ole Miss, I think was huge. Though, we all know seeing plays happen like that and it catapult you into something, springboard you into something totally different. So I think they do. Oklahoma just on fire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you need guys to step up. You need above average effort from everybody else besides
I want to see Nigel Pack.
Oh, he can fill it up.
Yeah, 23 last night.
Yeah, he can fill it up. He can fill it up, dog. He can make it get real spicy out there.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, Tennessee getting Auburn to open up their SEC tournament. A little Slay versus Dawn.
Yeah.
Action again. Maybe we have to text her and get a bet going again.
We should. She loses all the bets, so I'm
Mayor and
yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Then guess what? So we just interviewed Stephen Pearl on the desk, and Pearl was saying, man, we need our Auburn fans. I know y'all heard it once before, but we need y'all to make this a great environment for us. So. You know what I did? I turned around and said, Vol Nation, what y'all going to do? We need y'all to do the same exact thing. So I do think, man, both teams will be competitive. The interior for Tennessee should give them trouble. I think that's what you're supposed to lean on. You can always – the good thing Auburn has, though, they have a win up under their belt in this arena.
Yeah.
So you got guys you're trying to work back in. Does rust play a factor? The other part is, do you forget what got you here? That's the bigs, giving them the ball, letting them score. Because if you play around with Auburn, they got the firepower to put you away.
Nate Ament did practice today for Tennessee.
He was walking around real tall down there just a minute ago.
Okay.
So that was pretty good to see. We ain't seen Nate.
You look great. I love the purple
you,
tie and the pocket square.
Yeah,
there.
man. I was going gray with the gray pinstripe today, man, but I ain't like my tie, so I canceled that, and I got to figure something else out. Yeah, figure something out. Yeah, it would have went good, huh? That's what my homegirl told me, man. They came through with it. Yeah, I'm gonna pick it. I listen, Curve. I'm learning, Curve. I'm learning, Curve.
All right, Ron Slay, catch him on the SEC Network all the time. More 3HL next on 104.5 The Zone. eSpaces.com is your workspace holding you back. This March, it's time to level up with eSpaces, offering a premium and flexible office and co-working solution designed for the way that you actually work. Whether you're a startup, growing team, a professional ready to ditch the kitchen table, eSpaces has the space, the amenities, and the community to help you thrive. And right now, eSpaces is offering 50% off your first 6 months. Call eSpaces today at 615-777-8567. That's 615-777-8567. Your best work starts here. Terms apply. eSpaces, redefining co-working with exceptional offices for every business. Private offices, team suites, meeting rooms, fully equipped, 24/7 access, flexible terms, beautiful professional spaces that are move-in ready. Tours available now. Reserve your space early. eSpaces.com. All 15 locations, you'll find them right there. eSpaces.com. May or may not be funny. We have a 100% success rate, we believe, that everything that we have put in this segment has come out successful, meaning it was funny.
The only thing about this one is we don't have anybody here who can judge it that hasn't already heard it. because I heard it when I pulled it.
Ross, have you heard it?
I have not heard it.
There you go.
Okay, Ross is our judge.
Yeah. So this comes from the We Need a Fourth podcast with who? Bumgardner?
Brian Bumgardner, Office fans, you
I
may
only
know him
as Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah, I know him as Kevin.
That's how
but anyway, this is Peyton Manning telling a story about Cooper Manning involving Tiger Woods. Check it.
A quick Cooper Manning golf story. We played with Tiger Woods, not the name drop, on the very first hole. Cooper's never met Tiger. Tiger's kind of feeling him out. We're down in Florida playing. And on the first fairway, Cooper says, Tiger, anytime you want to borrow my 9-wood today, just grab it. Okay?
9-wood.
You don't have to ask me. Just have at it. Cooper has a lot of woods, right? He's very accurate. He hits it straight. Maybe not hit it so far due to some old injuries. But after that, Tiger Woods became the biggest Cooper Manning fan of all time. Because most people don't know what to say to the guy. And this is Cooper. This is what, 2005. To say he's in his prime would be an understatement, right?
I think he had just won 5 tournaments in a row going into Bay Hill.
Yeah, it's me, Cooper, Bubba Watson, and Tiger and Hank Haney, which I think that was the last round Tiger and Hank probably played together.
I'd like to think I had something to do with that also.
But when you told him he could borrow his 9-wood, I'm telling you, I've never seen a guy, go, all right, I like this guy. This is my kind of guy.
I love a guy that has so many woods. He has a 9-wood, and he tells Tiger Woods, "Hey man, you don't even have to ask me. Just take it if you need it."
What would it in his
like
prime,
Tiger Woods
2005 Tiger Woods.
Yeah, like Tiger Woods needs a club that's not in his bag. Like he's unprepared, right? Yeah, man, I'll take it. That's really funny. And he had won 5 tournaments in a row.
You know how much confidence you got to have to go up to Tiger Woods and say, "Hey, man, you can use any of the clubs that you want out of my bag."
Well, I mean, he was joking.
Oh,
and
I know, but
it was a well-placed joke.
Good job, Cooper.
So, Ross, was that funny?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny.
I enjoyed it.
Boom, 100% success rate.
I can tell you for a fact that Slay and Dawn both would have liked that.
Yeah. It also involved Peyton Manning, so that helps.
Hey, we have a giveaway coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Give it away now. It is a chance to win 2 4-day general admission tickets to Bourbon and Beyond Music Festival in Louisville, Kentucky, September 24th through the 27th. Now, hopefully you can figure out if you can go, but the bands involved feature more than 100 artists on 5 stages. Some of the bands that will be performing: Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, Mumford & Sons, Chris Stapleton, Dave Matthews Band, Hootie and the Blowfish, and more. I want to go to this show.
You could call in.
Like Slay does?
Like Slay does. What would your fake name be? I forgot what Slay's fake name was. Remember, he stayed on hold for a while when he did that, and then I answered it, and nobody answered because
it's a delay.
Because it was Slay, and it was delayed.
I don't know. That's a good question. Like, what would your code name be? Like, if you were so famous that you couldn't use your name at a hotel, what name would you use?
Like Ramon Foster, he puts his first name backwards, right? So, I can't.
Why are you just giving his secrets out?
No.
Your relationship with Ramon
Nomar.
is straining.
It's Nomar.
Garcia Parra. Wasn't he married to Mia Hamm? Is that true?
I have no idea.
One of the best female soccer players ever.
Your pop culture knowledge is something.
Also, how about these Ole Miss cheerleader outfits?
Cheerleaders, yeah.
Wow. There's a whole lot of that baby blue Ole Miss thing involved in that.
Hey, when we were watching Kentucky,
cool headband too, dude.
When we were watching Kentucky LSU, the Kentucky male cheerleaders, did you see how big they were? They looked like they could go out there and play football.
Well, you have to be. You got to throw people in the air and then catch them.
Well, they were throwing the mascot in the air.
Catch is probably more important than throwing.
Probably.
Also, Kentucky brought 700 cheerleaders and 400 dance team members.
And
they had
did you see their band?
They had
they had 1,000 people in the band.
I always enjoy that. So that giveaway is coming up maybe in the next segment. We might do it then, but it will happen in the 5 o'clock hour. Again, we're off early today, so we'll try to figure out when.
Ramon Foster that I spoke of coming up at 5:20.
Unless he's mad at you. which is always possible.
Well, maybe he'll just talk to you then if he's mad at me.
All right, we'll talk NFL free agency and all of those things when we come back. Stay tuned. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's where you need to go to get that next new vehicle. You've been thinking about it. Now's the time to go get it done. Maybe you're in the process of going dealership to dealership. If you are, certainly include Gupton because you'll buy there. They are awesome people. Daniel Gupton and his crew ready to help you out. Just let them know what you're looking for, and they'll point you in the right direction. You take your test drive. Go inside. They will help make the numbers work, and it will be that easy. 24 West Shore, Clarksville. Exit 35 is a straight shot into the best vehicle buying experience you'll have ever had, according to me. And they're at 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee, about 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. You can check them out there. You can check them out online. GuptonMotors.com is the website. All the dealership information is there. Address, phone number, everything you need from them is right there. The deals they have going on in the month of March. Also, all of the inventory, new and pre-owned. They have a tremendous selection of pre-owned vehicles. Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Again, the website, GuptonMotors.com.
Good evening, live from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. We've had some Titans-adjacent moves made in free agency today, starting with the Titans signing former Chiefs defensive end Malik Herring to a one-year deal. Former Titans safety Kevin Byard reunites with Mike Vrabel as he signs a one-year deal with the New England Patriots. Tight end Chigakonkwo signed a 3-year deal with the Washington Commanders, and center Corey Levin signed a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. The SEC tournament is underway and opened up today with Kentucky defeating LSU 87-82. In the most recent game, Auburn defeated Mississippi State 77-61. Next, Ole Miss will take on Texas at 6 p.m. And to cap it off tonight at 8:30, South Carolina will take on Oklahoma. The Vols will face Auburn tomorrow at 2 p.m. Kentucky and Missouri will be the first game at 11:30. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. It is Hump Day.
That was pretty good. It was way better than mine.
I agree.
Way better than mine. I failed. So I'm so glad we didn't tell Slay I did that. I'm sure he will find out eventually, but I feel so disappointed in myself for not being able to do that.
By the way, Bop said that Mia Hamm is still married to No More Garcia Barro. How about pulling that?
Do you think he knew that, or do you think that looked
No,
like
he looked it up.
Okay.
Youngish people can look
That'd
at
be
things
be really funny if he just knew that off the top of his head.
Davenport is on assignment. Slay Dog is too. Slay Dog you can find on the SEC Network. He did come up in time to spend a few minutes with Todd Furman and offer up his take of what we've seen today and what we'll see tonight. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Zeph Dog is co-hosting 3HL.
What up?
Literally for the first time, where you didn't have to do other things.
That's correct.
Ross is producing the show back at our studio, the world-famous Music Row. Bob is over here interviewing people in the concourse, which is kind of cool. Rich is here. AJ's here. Alan Kirby is here.
Maddie's here. AJ's here. Lots of people here from the zone.
Yeah, and somebody just came up, nice couple, comes up and says, I used to work with your dad, Joseph Bonanno.
That's right. And had my sister in an ACE class.
What is an ACE class?
It's like engineering.
Oh, there you go. She said she heard me talking about engineering. My whole family, full of engineers.
Yeah, my sister.
I'm full of some other things.
My sister
but one
is,
of those is broadcasting. But my entire family, engineering, Doherty Engineering Building at the University of Tennessee. I did not go that route. Cool.
My sister is at MTSU for architectural interior design.
She's way smart. Check out the smarts on her.
Mm-hmm.
A lot going on. The Max Crosby deal is dead, y'all. The Ravens, if you haven't seen that, the Ravens pulled out after he failed his physical. The Cowboys, who were in a bidding war with the Ravens, said, we're good. They're going to sign former Packers edge rusher Rashawn Gary. By the way, the NFL's official free agency period is underway. Started at 3 o'clock today, Central Time. Titans had another defensive player last night, former 49ers defensive tackle Jordan Elliott, signing a 2-year, $8 million deal with the Titans. He's going to be a rotational player. He's 28, 6'4", 303. Played college ball at Texas, then at Missouri. He was taken in the 3rd round by Cleveland, played 4 seasons. He's played the last 2 seasons in San Francisco, including last season with Robert Saleh as his defensive coordinator. He's going into year 7. Under Saleh last year, he started 16 games. Had 31 tackles, no sacks, a tackle for loss, a pass defense. Again, a rotational player. Titans also signing former Chiefs and Texans punter Tommy Townsend to a 2-year deal worth up to $6 million. He's 29, played at Florida in college, entering year 7. The comparison with Johnny Hekker, and with regard to their seasons last year, Townsend averaged 47.6 yards per punt. Hekker averaged 46.8 yards per punt. Townsend had only 5 touchbacks and 72 punts. Hekker had 7 touchbacks on 78 punts. have these written down in a weird way. That's why it's causing me confusion. He had 30 punts. He being Tommy Townsend had 30 punts end up inside the 20. So 30 of his 72 punts ended up inside the 20. Only 5 touchbacks. 30 inside the 20, 5 touchbacks. Pretty amazing. So that has happened. Also, the Titans re-signed kicker Joey Sly. He was 28 of 35. You good with that, Zeph?
Yeah, he was fine last year. Had some. I feel like he got put in some bad situations for him. A lot of long field goals, especially in the 50s, which he made a lot of. He missed a couple of them too. Hopefully, with the new offense under Brian Dable, they're not in the position where they're kicking 50-yard field goals that many times.
Or 60 or 65.
Yeah, they like that. You should never be in an offense where your go-to when you get to midfield is, okay, let's try for a 50-yard field goal here.
Well, maybe with this wide receiver room and a quarterback going into year 2 with Brian Dable, who is supposedly a quarterback offensive whisperer type guy, although kind of struggled with Daniel Jones there.
Speaking of, with the quarterback.
If you add Jeremiah Love to the quarterback in the wide receiver room, maybe you got an offense that can do something.
Speaking of
and not be
quarterback,
third down and long all the time.
Cam Ward. Videos out of his private training throwing the football again. I think this is the first time we've seen public video of Cam throwing the ball since spraining his AC joint and I believe in his throwing shoulder. So good to see QB1 out there getting some work and hopefully continuing to rehab and get healthier with that arm.
Yeah, a lot of people had that video on social media. I know Buck Rising had it on Twitter, and Babs immediately asked us, like, on the video, like, where is this? Can y'all tell? And I was like, I looked at it. I zoomed in.
Couldn't see the logo on the field.
At the middle field logo. But Seth had a great point. He said, well, if this is any time recently, it's not Nashville because it's sunny.
Way too sunny in the video.
My guess is in Florida.
Probably. It's where he spent a lot of time down there in Miami, especially when they were on their college football playoff run. So.
Former Titans safety Kevin Byard to the Patriots, 1 year, $9 million. I'm still of the opinion if he is still playing football next year, which, I mean, he led the NFL in interceptions last season.
Wasn't all pro, yeah.
But if he plays the year in New England and then plays another year, maybe he re-signs with the Titans.
That's something
because it would be more financially.
That's
viable.
something we brought up a little bit yesterday. We didn't get too heavy into it, but like I feel like there was this sentiment around like the national people of like, Brian Dable and Robert Saleh are just bringing in their guys from bad teams. But what about Mike Vrabel? We brought this up a little bit, but Mike Vrabel has constantly brought in people from his time in Tennessee, both players and coaches, to fill out that roster in New England, and it worked out for him pretty well. And he continues to do it. I don't think he's going to go away from it anytime soon.
Well, relationships mean something. You know what you're getting out of a guy on the field, but also in the locker room and in the positional room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, you know, you bring in a Mitchell Trubisky, that makes sense on the field because it's an upgrade from Brandon Allen. But he's also a guy that's been in Dable's system that can help Cam Ward if he has questions on the field during training camp.
Yep.
And doesn't have access to Dable right next to him or whatever reason. So all of those things make sense. Former Titans tight end Chig Okonkwo signed a 3-year deal with the Washington Commanders.
I think it's a really good fit for him with Jaden Daniels. Now I'll be interested to see.
What did he get? $10 million per?
It was up to $30 million. So I didn't see the exact.
Okay.
I didn't see the exact number per year, but I'm assuming with incentives, he can get up to that 10. If I had to guess, I would assume probably somewhere in that 8 to 9 range makes sense with the incentives bumping it up to 10. But a solid deal for Chig, more than he was probably going to get here in Tennessee. I think he goes to a good situation with a very young offense. And gets to go reunite with Traylon Burks over there in Washington. Gets to play with Jaden Daniels, who hopefully will be back healthier this season. I'm trying to remember. I'm blanking on who the Commanders' new offensive coordinator is since
David Blau.
David Blau, that's right.
David Blau.
Yeah.
He was a star on Hard Knocks when they were in Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He was awesome.
That should be... young offensive mind, and young in terms of coaches, offensive mind coming in. So maybe they can do some fun things with a really athletic guy in Chig.
You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Please.
Titan_Husker. Wish Byard could have come back on a short-term deal. Great community member and MTSU legend. No question about that. Now, we've talked about the thought is that Amani Hooker did not play up to Amani Hooker's level last year. Should he continue to slide or not play well, they do have an out in his contract after next season. That's why I think if they do make a move there, hopefully they don't have to, but if they do make a move there, then you could see Kevin Byard here for sure. Now,
I would love to have
what we have
Mayor
learned, Greg Cosell talking about Robert Sala's defense, the safeties are interchangeable. There's not a free safety and strong safety. So you have a guy, actually you have both players that can do both things. So center fielder in the box. And so that can present problems and questions for a quarterback and an offensive coordinator.
I'll be interested to see what they do with that safety depth because right now behind Kevin Winston Jr. and Amani Hooker, I don't think they have a ton of depth. Kendall Brooks, Mike Brown potentially. I can't remember if they have tendered him yet or not. Sanusi Kane, Jarek Reed. So the depth at safety is something to watch as we continue through free agency.
Today in the SEC tournament, Kentucky with an 87-82 win over LSU. They survive and advance. LSU was without key big man Robert Miller III. Otega Owe had 23 points on the night. Max McKinnon, 28 for LSU. LSU fought hard. They stayed in it. They missed some key wide open looks for three, missed some free throws down the stretch. Kentucky will play Missouri in an 8-9 game tomorrow at 11:30. Looking forward to that one. Mississippi State led Auburn 33-30 at the half. Something happened. Auburn started to share the basketball.
They heard Slay's speech, apparently.
They must have heard Slay's speech, and they went on a run. So they go from down 3 to winning 77-61. They outscored Mississippi State 47-28 in the second half. Kevin Overton, 22 points, 6 threes. Keyshawn Murphy, 15 points, 9 boards. Keyshawn Hall, 14 points, all for the Auburn Tigers. Josh Hubbard, 22 points. Hard to get in a rhythm today for him, 8 of 25 from the floor. Interesting watching that guy, one of the prolific scorers in the country, and he has to work so hard to get shots off.
What's your
hardly ever gets open looks.
What's your initial feeling on Tennessee Auburn going into tomorrow?
I don't know, dude. I think Tennessee will be 4.5 point favorite, something like that. It might be out. I don't know.
I've looked. I haven't seen anything pop up.
Coming
yet.
up tonight at 6 o'clock, 15 seed Ole Miss, 10 seed Texas. Texas has lost 4 out of 5 since winning 5 straight. Ole Miss is 1-12 in their last 13. Looking forward to seeing Dalen Swain for the Longhorns tonight. 14 seed South Carolina, 11 seed Oklahoma in the nightcap. Oklahoma, 7.5 point favorite. By the way, Texas favored by 5.5 in that previous game. Sooners went through a 2-11 stretch, but they have found it. They've won 4 in a row. They lost at South Carolina on January 20th. If they win, they get 6 seed Texas A&M. The Aggies are 4-2 in their last 6 since a 4-game losing streak. That would be an interesting matchup. Looking forward to seeing for Oklahoma tonight, Nigel Pack go for OU. He's averaging 16.1 points per game, had 23 in the win over Texas last time out. When we come back, Ramon Foster, Big Savagery. We'll talk with him from Ramon and Will, weekday morning 6 to 10 on 104.5 The Zone. That's next on 3HL at the Barrel House outside section 112. If you're at the SEC tournament this week, that's where we will be. Buck Rising Show, Cover 2, and 3HL all here tomorrow and Friday. So come by and see us if you are at Bridgestone Arena for the SEC tournament. Brent Doherty, Zeph Dog, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Want to tell you about Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. If you need replacement windows and replacement doors, don't you want to go to a company that's locally owned and operated? Well, that would be Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. You want a company where things are manufactured right here in the U.S. of A? Yep, that's Pella. Family-oriented, family first. They mean it. Pella's been around for 100 years, actually 101 years this year. Lifetime warranties on all of their products. They serve all of Middle Tennessee, and Southern Kentucky, Bowling Green. They've got you covered. And if you want to know what they're really like, go check out their Google reviews, 4.9 rating. And people talk about the quality of their product, the craftsmanship, the process of installation, which allows them to warranty work, and the difference from their competitors. I can attest to it because I use Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. And I've utilized them so much, they let me pass on a deal to you called the Dawn Deal for March, 55% off Pella certified labor and 0% APR for 24 months, plus an additional 5% off materials. Schedule your free consultation easily online. Check out the Dawn Deal, PellaNashville.com.
What's happening, y'all, man? Listen, a lot of traveling going on. You probably doing the same exact thing. Or if you're sitting in that long car line to pick up the kids, back will get too aching on you. You probably like, man, I just probably need a little adjustment. And if you haven't had one, I'm telling you right now, you need to get over to the Joint Chiropractic of Middle Tennessee. I promise you it will knock out those aches and pains, the little ones that you think you need to take some leave and things like that for. Nope, you just need to get adjusted. They got 17 locations for you to choose from. They open all day, evenings and weekends, so you can roll in there whenever. And you don't have to worry about insurance, not at all. Walk-ins, no appointment needed. You're getting a consultation if you're a new patient and the exam and adjustment for just $29. And after that, adjustments as low as $18. Trust me, I went in there and did it. I came out feeling like I just got new tires, balanced and rotated, just like your car get the feeling. Your body does the same thing. Go to thejoint.com to find your spot, get in, get adjusted, and get back to living.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Zeph Dog, broadcasting live from Bridgestone Arena in the Barrel House outside Section 112. We'll be here tomorrow and Friday. Buck Rising, cover 2 also. That Buck Rising crew, man, with Panzika and Bert.
They're something.
They're wild. They are wild. So is our next guest. We'll get to Savage in just a second. But first, your chance to win 2 4-day general admission tickets to Bourbon and Beyond Music Festival in Louisville, Kentucky, September 24th through the 27th. Some of the bands include, well, there are more than 100 artists on 5 stages. Some of the bands include Foo Fighters, Queens of the Stone Age, Mumford & Sons, Chris Stapleton, Dave Matthews Band, Hootie and the Blowfish, and more. All pass types, including 4-day, single-day, general admission, Mint VIP, and Angels Envy, which is really good. Angels Envy Beyond VIP passes on sale now at bourbonandbeyond.com. But your chance to win now, 2 4-day general admission tickets to Bourbon and Beyond Music Festival in Louisville, September 24th through the 27th. 615-737-1045. That's 615-737-1045. Good luck.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Big Savage, Ramon Foster joins us now. What up, Savage Dog?
Hey, what's going on, gang, man? How are y'all?
Doing great. I loved the spot track conversation with Mike Giannetti the other day. That was phenomenal stuff.
It was good, man. Getting some stuff answered as far as, you know, what's a good deal, what's not a good deal. Projection for Jeff, I thought was super unique hearing that from him as well. But again, this is that time of the year where all of these contracts and numbers and teams trying to make the best of their team's franchise. I mean, yeah, the franchise's money. It's always good to have him on, man. I hope we covered a lot for everybody that was listening to it.
Well, a couple of things stood out to me. So he said, I think the situation with Wan'Dale Robinson is really going to pay off. 2 years, $38 million, and then a safe out. So a lot of times when fans see these contracts and you see 4 years and you see big dollar signs, look for the outs, and there is one there. Also, you brought up Big Jeff, which we can talk about Wan'Dale here in a second. But Big Jeff, projected deal should be Chris Jones money. Over $32 million per is what Mike said. Maybe a 3-year extension for $100 million. Here's the thing. He's got 2 years left, and I saw some people in the chat while y'all were having that conversation talking about don't do anything with Jeff. You've got him for another 2 years. I would argue do not let him get into the offseason before his last season. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Do it now.
No. And it's the proper way of doing stuff. It's fascinating if that's the conversation, Brent or Mayor, because everybody's willing to pay an astronomical amount of money for free agents, but don't want to give Jeff his due whenever this man just became first-team All-Pro and Pro Bowl starter as well, and double-digit sacks, and it doesn't look like he's slowing down. Like, I think the good franchises, man, are you spend the money on your in-house guys and you have filler players and free agency. Not necessarily, hey, we need the biggest free agents year in and year out. That ultimately means to me that you haven't did a good job of drafting and developing and retaining your players. If you're in a window, let's say like Baltimore is or Buffalo, or you have a quarterback and you're probably a cornerback short, the way the Rams are, you want to give up a first-round draft pick for Trent McDuffie because you're in that window. That's how you kind of want to play it, where you can pick and sacrifice a draft pick or a year or two of draft picks to say this is our window and we're selling out for it. The paying Jeff makes perfect sense to me. That's just good football business. That's good Titan business, if I'm being completely honest with you, and that's what you want to do. You want to have yourself to where your own homegrown players are disgruntled with you, because that's the type of stuff that can happen if you have a portion of the fan base like, no, don't do it. Because if that's the case, man, you know how I felt about it. Like, before they commit to him and he had this year, I was saying, well, if that's the case, trade Jeff. Like, what do you mean you got him for 2 years? He's played up to that deal, and the market has reset itself as far as D-tackle and the NFL salary cap goes as well. So I know people hate these numbers, but if that man is worth $35 million and he's playing at 27, what happens if he holds out? Then he hurts the team even more so. Like, I'm with Mike Giannetti on that one.
Yeah.
When you know that Jeff has proclaimed to the world that, hey, I want double-digit sacks, and then he does it, and then he make first-team All-Pro, man, you might as well just blindly buy a Brinks truck and just have it sitting outside his house.
No, do it now. Don't get into the offseason before his final year. And he is the best.
Somebody else get paid before him.
Yeah, and he's the best defensive tackle in football at this point. And you have him on your roster, so don't do anything to screw that up. It's not like you have to sell him in free agency or anything like that. So that would be great. By the way, if y'all missed that Spot Track interview, that Spot Track does the contract and puts it out there. Talks about cap hit. Percentage of cap hit on the roster, which is fascinating to me, and that's the best stat, I think. Dead cap money, which don't look at Miami. But if you want to hear that conversation, you can get it where you get your podcast. So search out the Ramon and Will podcast, and you can do it that way. Or you can go to YouTube, look at the Zone feed, and find it that way too.
Man.
Yeah, man. That was fascinating. He gets into Peter Skoronski, what he's going to – now, you can fifth-year option him, so you can put that one off. But
yeah, you got time. You can late summer him. The way I see his, I see Jeff potentially getting his probably right as OTAs start, and Peter probably get his going into summer just because you kind of want to spread it out a little bit, pay out your rookies because you also have to, the 4th overall pick. I think the pick is getting $48 million. At the 4th overall pick, and that's kind of where you want to be with Peter is once you pay out that pick and the draft pick, now you can see how you can work Peter into it going into the season.
Yeah, $48 million for 4, that would be 12 per. So if you're thinking about running back there, or if you're thinking about middle linebacker, which I know Big Savage has been all over for a long time. Ramon Foster with us from Ramon and Will, 6 to 10 weekday mornings on 104.5 The Zone.
Man, we brought that up about, that price range that I just gave you of $48 million for the 4th overall pick, plus the draft pick in general. Like, he said some teams stray away from non-premium positions like running back, inside linebacker, and safety based upon those numbers because you're essentially, at that point, paying a young running back, if you do go after Jeremiah Love, $12 million a year, which is top of the market money. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth it with a crap shot drafting a running back? And he had a fascinating answer. Said some teams choose to not draft premium positions if they're not a sure hit at that spot. I'm interested to see how the Titans draft goes if they do choose Jeremiah Love or Sonny Styles. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be fascinating to watch.
Ramon, one thing that the Titans somewhat addressed, I feel like, in this early stages of free agency is the center position. Bringing in Austin Schlottman from New York obviously has the connection with Dable. Not a lot of starting experience. I think, 4 games last year, a little over 300 snaps at that center position. Right. What do you see their plan there at center, and then right next to them at right guard, where they still haven't brought anybody back, potentially Zeitler maybe? What do you see as the Titans' plan based on their moves so far?
Man, I always want to bring up Jackson Slater just because he's in-house. It's a Mike Bergonzi guy. He called him the developmental guy, if I'm not mistaken, in the draft wrap-up portion of last offseason. So he's there. Whether you play him at center, whether you play him at guard, it probably depends upon his ability to win the starting position or one of those starting positions because I feel like we heard he's been training at both or he's had time at it. I know he played in center last year in the last game when Corey Levin went out as well. So he's there. When you mentioned, by the way, we had Jordan Ronan on today from ESPN, and he covers the Giants. He actually said his name is Austin Sloatman. Slody.
Got it.
Yeah.
He did.
He said Russell Wilson, he called him Slody. He was like, who the heck is Slody? He said, that's Austin Sloatman. So, yeah, just so everybody knows, Austin Sloatman. But the way I look at him, man, he's a big – I'm trying to be a, small J journalist out here. But the way I look at him is he's a big body guy. I feel like with the way they set this offensive line up, you got guys that are minimum 6'4" and taller across the front. If Jackson Slater does get in it, then he's, I think, measured in at 6'3". What I'm getting at, it seems like they're building the wall. They're trying to make sure that they got protection in front of Cam, stout guys that they believe can either run the ball well, be good in run blocking or just be fences for him. I'm interested to see because I'm looking at tape right now on the Giants, man. I've watched 2 games against 2 really good opponents, against Chicago and against the Broncos. By the way, you can see John Franklin Meyer in that game. You can also see Dellinger, the tight end, as well in it, on top of Wan'Dale Robinson in that one game in itself.
You see everybody.
But it's going to be fascinating to see what Brian Dable's pass protection is going to look like. The scheme, is it going to be much of the same that he had with the Giants, where everything is left to right and misdirection and pre-snap reads and stuff like that? And I think looking at Austin Sloatman, the newly signed center, that's going to be his role ultimately, is to be in a position where he's a wall, he's a front. He gives Cam security, knowing that he can work behind him if he is at center. Now, again, he's played across the line when it comes to the interior side of the game too, Seth. But in general, you get a veteran, you get somebody that knows how to snap. He's gone to two treacherous places that I've watched in two of his 4 starts, to Chicago and to Denver, and has done well. But I just, not going to give the entire show away. I'm going to do tomorrow on Austin Sloatman. But it's going to be fascinating if they do bring in more guys. All I would say is this, and this is no disrespect, it's just how my offensive line, I view them. I would say, just on what I've seen so far, the 2 for $9 million is justified, if you get what I'm saying. This may end up personally being a 1-year rental type situation. If he does play better, you got him for the second year. 2 years, $9 million ain't bad. You got to think. Cade Mays, I think, got, over $8 million a year?
A little over $8, yeah.
A little over $8 million a year. You got a guy in Austin Sloatman who's pretty much 2 years at $4.5 million apiece. So that's just where I'm saying. I got a lot more information that I'm ready to break down tomorrow morning on the show. But the 2 for $9 is justified the way I look at it for a guy that's been a non-starter and that hadn't played a big role. 300 reps for an offensive lineman isn't a lot of reps in a season. But again, I've been of the mindset, and I've kind of been chirping this, I don't think the Titans are taking the approach they got to get it all in 1 year. I do think this is going to be a build-up. I don't think this is a, hey, fix everything now. I think they're trying to get back to zero. I'll ask Titans fans and you guys, if you could just get back to 9-8 now, or 8-9, or 7-10, would you take that over just misery every doggone week and only winning 3-4 games?
Of course, but you're starting to see writers suggest that the Titans are that next team to make that huge jump year to year. So we'll see. Ramon Foster, Ramon, and Will, you can hear all of that commentary in even more detail tomorrow, 6 to 10, 104.5 The Zone. Ramon, I'll be in the chat. Hey, real quick, on the way out, Tennessee, Auburn tomorrow. Who you got?
Man, I got Tennessee. I got the balls, and I want them to take them to the deep end. I want no life rafts. I want like the white ripple waves in the ocean where the planes fly over. You can't tell if it's a whale or if it's a wave. Like, drown them. It's the way I feel about it. It's SEC tournament. It always means more.
I love it.
You could try to
savage.
Get in on some betting action with Don. Maybe put up something of stake there in the studio.
Oh, we need to get a chat going. We need to get a little text going.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do. Didn't we already beat them once? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The final score might have been 77-69 Tennessee. All right, Mo.
That's what I was thinking.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Love you, man.
Appreciate you, Ramon.
Love y'all, too. Peace.
At Ramon Foster. Ramon and Will. Weekday morning, 6 to 10. If you haven't checked them out, I don't know why not, because you should. And start your day off the right way. That's going to be fun. Coming up tonight, we've got Ole Miss in Texas. We've got South Carolina and Oklahoma. Tomorrow, we already know, Missouri and Kentucky will play at 11:30. So there will be tons of Kentucky fans in here. Not very many Missouri fans, I would imagine. And it does make a difference.
It made a difference in that LSU game.
When they got rolling, there was like a pulse in the building.
Yeah, and you could tell the players were feeding off of it. You could see the fun that like Oweh and Aberdeen and Garrison, who had a big second half, were having when the crowd got loud. And you could see LSU just kind of drown out. So it does matter. I expect Tennessee's showing out tomorrow. I know Stephen Pearls wanted the Auburn faithful to be out, but it's going to be hard to beat Rocky Top when they're just right down the road.
Man, I hope we end up with a Tennessee-Vandy game on Friday.
Oh, that would be
so much fun.
So fun.
In Nashville at Bridgestone Arena, that would be great.
Because we had Tennessee-Kentucky last year, and that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because Tennessee won. But
Yep, and so You are amazing. So 12-seed Auburn, 5-seed Tennessee tomorrow, 2:15, 2:20, 2:30, somewhere in there. Depending on when the first game ends, they will start that one 30 minutes after it's over. So Ole Miss, Texas, winner, Georgia gets them. Texas A&M gets the South Carolina-Oklahoma winner.
We'll see you after the Tennessee game. Maybe.
Yes, we will. By the way, I was trying to figure this out. If tomorrow goes the way today went, time-wise, we would be on about 5:20.
5:20
to 6 o'clock. But my thought is
5:45.
To 5:45.
So it'd be like 20 minutes.
Why are we on until 5:45?
Because
I don't even know these things.
SEC tournament action is coming up on the Zone here in a few minutes once we get out of the way.
Right. So Chris Lowe just got to the building just a few minutes ago. So I suggested maybe he come by after the Tennessee game.
Big good
tomorrow.
reaction from CeeLo.
We will do that. Man, it's been fun. Love coming to the SEC tournament. You guys know I'm college football first, but the SEC tournament is so much fun. If you've never been, it is a great avenue for you to have some sports entertainment. Just watching everybody walk around with their colors on. Really, really cool. Appreciate you guys being with us. Appreciate you including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Hopefully, we were able to put a smile on your face at some point. 3HL is organized chaos. Welcome if you're new. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya unless you are the SEC tournament. Great basketball here in Nashville.